Well, the headlines are loud and the markets have been up and down the last few weeks. And I know for people that are uncomfortable with the market volatility, you probably think you should be doing something, anything right now to be adjusting your investment strategy. But what actually should you be doing? Today, we'll talk with Dennis about 4 questions maybe you should be asking yourself to see exactly where you stand. Welcome into Dollars with Dennis. I am Ben George, as always, joined by Dennis Hoare, Faith 401k and money management. And Dennis, this has been an interesting few weeks for sure here in April. And I'm guessing you probably heard a little bit from clients about what's happening in the market.
Yeah, there's a little bit of noise. Good morning, Ben. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well.
We got through Easter, but clients, they have questions, they're concerns, they're worried, different. Some clients do, some don't have any. That's the interesting part is either they're trained well or they can't see the news, which is probably good. And I was just on the phone with a client and we're talking about the market headlines. The NASDAQ's down 11, the S&P's down 10, the Dow's down 9, yet the 60-40 portfolio or the average retired client is down 3.5, which doesn't translate into what you're hearing on the news. And so that's my advice usually is don't listen to the news. You find something you trust, whatever. And if you do that gut check when you get really worried and nervous, go back to your plan. What is our plan? What do we need market returns for? And are we on target for that? That's the just revisiting where you started and why you're here.
Yeah, that's a great place to start, Dennis, too, as we kind of go through this. I'm going to give you kind of 4 kind of questions maybe you can be asking yourself. And, if you don't have an advisor that you're working with, now it's a great time to do that. But let's talk about that gut check, Dennis, because I think that's interesting because, I think right now is that time where, you're starting to ask yourself, okay, where am I? Where do I stand? And for some people, they probably don't have a plan if you're really uncomfortable right now, because as you mentioned, a lot of the people that kind of have that structured, diversified plan don't feel the full effects of what the market is doing right now. But when's the last time, if you do have a plan, when's the last time you checked on it? Because chances are, unless you're into retirement in good ways, you don't need all that money right now, right? So if things haven't changed in your life, probably your plan hasn't either, has it?
That's right. So good point. So your gut check is if you don't have a plan, get one, because when markets happen, you want to revisit your plan and people get nervous for the wrong reasons. They hear the stock market's down, but they might not even be invested completely in the stock market. So what does that mean to them? We always have political risk and global risk, but right now we get this tariff talk going on and it's just a little bit inconsistent. So it's causing volatility in the market, and volatility makes people nervous to do that for sure. But if you don't have a plan, get a plan.
Well, how many meetings have you had, Dennis? I know you said you've heard from some clients, but is this a time where you actively reach out and say, hey, if you want to come in, sit down, let's evaluate kind of where you stand on things? Are you doing that actively, or is it more, hey, a client reaches out and says, hey, Dennis, let me just reevaluate my plan right now and just kind of see if everything's on track?
Good question. So a couple of weeks ago, we sent a volatility blast email out to clients and said, if you want to talk, you want to go through it, now's the time to reach out. We consistently reach out to clients on a regular basis. So far, I think we've had 3 people that wanted to talk about what's going on, and everybody else has just been their normal routine of getting their plan, getting their updates, and where are we in that process. So not too terribly bad from our book anyhow.
Yeah, I think that speaks to why you have a plan, why you plan, because these moments are going to happen. We know the market's going to go up and down. You want to be comfortable through this volatility, and those that are planning and know kind of where they're headed in the process feel much more comfortable there, to your point. But for those that maybe aren't as comfortable right now, Dennis, I think the second thing is really kind of getting real with risk and having that conversation about, hey, how comfortable am I with the risk of my portfolio? Because it's one thing to see a percentage as you're kind of running through the numbers and, hey, here's what your portfolio could do. It's different when you see the actual numbers on paper, right? And you see the big swings. Not everybody's comfortable with that.
3% might sound good, but if it's $30,000, it might not feel good when I see that number. For sure. So getting real with risk, and we do questionnaires about risk with clients all the time. And what I've noticed over the years is that during up markets, clients' risk tolerance questionnaires are more positive. And when you're in a time like now, you do the same risk questionnaire and they're more negative. So what they're feeling in their world changes what happens. But in our world, if your plan hasn't changed, your risk probably hasn't either. So you don't have to really worry about that too much. And so we like to be, not only are some people too aggressive, but some people are too conservative. If they're going to retire at 65 or 67, 70 and live to 95, that's a long time to make money work if it's just sitting in the bank and not earning a whole lot of money. So sometimes we need to have more risk or more market exposure to get a better long-term return.
Yeah, that's a good point. You might be uncomfortable with the big swing one way in times of volatility, but yes, to your point, I think that's important to make sure that you do have the right risk aligned with what your goals are, and you want to make sure you're doing that properly, and to have some help to do that is so important. All right, third thing, Dennis, is strategies. Now, I know we've talked a little bit about some of the things you can do to just kind of reevaluate and reassess kind of where you stand, but there are some opportunities that exist in markets like this, right? Not everybody's thinking this way, but it is an important mindset to have.
Great point. So markets move in different directions, different parts of the market moves. Actually, we're having a really good international year so far. It's up 7-8%. So rebalancing is huge. So all of our clients, we rebalance portfolios every quarter, so that if we have U.S., we have international, we have bonds, we have stocks, growth and value, we want to rebalance those quarterly. So whatever's down gets a little bit more at a better price. Whatever's up, you sell profits, and that is critical to success long term. Taking advantage of the market swings, rebalancing as you get through market periods for sure.
Is this another thing that you're proactive with your clients, Dennis, in terms of, hey, I know the market's up and down, but maybe there are some strategies that could apply to your plan. Come in and let's discuss those.
Yeah, absolutely. We build that into every plan. Rebalancing is there. We want to show a lot of times what was bought and sold, so they get a better feel of how that changed and so forth. And so from there, getting that done on a regular basis is important. And if somebody doesn't have rebalancing set up, they need to ask about that, inquire about that for sure.
All right, very good. Well, the last thing I think is important during times of volatility like this, Dennis, is that you just really cut out any behaviors that don't suit you, right? That don't benefit you moving forward. So what are some of those things that you see people commonly do? And I know we're all guilty of this as humans, to have some bad habits we want to get rid of, but what are some behaviors we can maybe try to cut out moving forward?
TV, media, news. So when you get scared, when you get worried, it's because of something you're watching. If you're watching a scary movie and you're getting scared and it's making you uncomfortable, stop watching it. And if you're watching market news and it's making you uncomfortable, stop watching it. Get a comedy, find a good movie, read a book, do something different. We've all been through these market cycles our whole lives, and the market continues to be resilient and move forward. And part of rebalancing and tax loss harvesting is important in there, but your temporary fears are really just that. You got to have a big picture in mind. Your plan is intact. Don't look to change for the wrong reasons. Make sure that you get with your advisor if you have one. If you need some help, give us a call.
Yeah, absolutely. 401k.faith is the website. All the contact info is in the description as well, but the number 513-898-1897. Again, Dennis is founder and president of Faith 401k and Money Management. And look, this is those times that you want to have a team on your side that help you navigate this. And really, I know, Dennis, for a lot of people, maybe it's too late, right, to react to what's happening right now, but it's about putting your best foot forward, moving forward as you get closer to retirement, because we don't know when the market's going to go up and down, but we do know it's going to continue to do this, right? It's what the market does. So you're going to be prepared for the next time this occurs.
Yeah. Yep. And it's easy for me to say it because we've been through it and I live it, but it's not always easy for clients to do that. But it works. Have a plan to get you where you need to go, when you need to get there. And you're not going to be taking money, as you said earlier, from the market all at one time. You're going to take it a little bit at a time. And that's important.
So if you're not comfortable, what should you actually be doing? Well, start with these 4 things. But again, reach out if you have any further questions, want to discuss your strategy, your risk, whatever that is, whatever questions you might have. reach out to Dennis and he'll be happy to sit down with you and begin those discussions. But we appreciate you watching this video. Please hit subscribe. We'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, Dennis.
Thanks, Ben.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Osaic Wealth, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Osaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth.